This is a quick video showing you how to trim and paint an RC body. I'll be demonstrating this with Proline's Bulldog body for the Rustler. First thing I choose to do, if you need to do it, is trim the body out. I like to go ahead and use an X-Acto knife. Basically, you're going to score it deep but very carefully along the whole base of where the body is. And to show you what I mean, I'm going to demonstrate how to do this on the lower part of the body where it's not going to matter. So like I said, just get the X-Acto blade and score it. Put some even pressure on there. You can put some curves, it really doesn't matter. But just be very steady and get the design perfect. Once you have it scored, you're going to bend it. And you can see that it'll crack eventually. And then you just pull it apart. It's really not that hard to do, but that is exactly what I'm going to be doing with the body. A couple tips. You're going to want to score it on the outside. Don't do it on the inside. Believe me, you're going to want to cut through the protective film that usually comes on RC bodies. And you do it from the inside, there's a good chance you're going to rip off the film, and you don't want to do that. Not before you paint the body. And when you're scoring it, sometimes if you push too hard, the blade could go through the body. Don't put your finger underneath, otherwise you'll cut yourself very badly. Once you finish scoring out the body, you're going to want to make a starting point for you to go ahead and rip it out. So, start at the base somewhere and just make a line that leads to the end of the shell. That way, you can just break it right there and then start ripping and go all the way around. Once you have the body pulled out, then you are ready to go ahead and line it up with the actual RC. Once you get it on there, sometimes with some shells, they're not going to mark where the body posts are going to be going through the shell. So at that time, line up the body as best you can, and then get a permanent marker and start marking where you're going to be drilling holes, including the antenna, if the antenna goes past the shell. Also, you're going to want to check for other areas that don't match up. Now, Proline doesn't accommodate the battery expansion kit, so I'm going to have to cut out this section right here, which is perfectly fine with me. It'll give it more ventilation and everything else. But once that's all done, don't worry about it. There is a protective film on the outside of the RC body, so once you peel that off, it'll take off all the marks that you left with this. Once everything's marked and you cut out the pieces that you don't want, it's time to wash the body. And you're just going to be using some plain dishwasher soap with some warm water. Rinse it out completely, make sure there's no soap residue, and dry it off with a lint-free towel. Once the body's clean and completely dry, wash your hands thoroughly, and it's time to do the masking. If you want to have clear windows, now's the time to use this stuff. If you don't have masking that's included with the body, usually they'll give you decals for the windows to put on the outside. If you want to have clear windows instead, just get some masking tape, lay it across the top of the decal, cut it out with an X-Acto knife, pull the masking tape off, and you can put that on the inside of the body. Or you can use painter's tape. Me, I prefer this stuff, but other people use different things. But as I said, now it's time to do all the masking. Make sure that the body is completely dry and that your hands are completely clean. You don't want to get anything onto the body. Here's a simple little trick that can really make your body awesome. Now, I want to keep this part clear, so what I did was I got some masking tape, put it on there, and I'm going to lightly score it with an X-Acto knife. Pull off the excess and then just leave it on there when I paint. You can do the same process if you want to have racing stripes. Just get some tape, lay down where you want the racing stripes, and then cut out where you want it to be. And then once you put down your base coat, pull off that tape and paint that whatever color you want. There's going to be some parts on here that I'm going to keep completely black, while other parts are going to be a fade of blue and black. So what I'm going to do is put down masking tape wherever I want it to be jet black or clear, and then cut it out, make it nice with the X-Acto knife, and I'll be ready to go. And now it's time to start painting the body, and you do need to use RC paint. This stuff is designed to stick to the body and it's flexible so it won't flake off. Anything else than RC paint is going to do just that, flake off. So you're going to hold it upside down, point it away from you, clear it out, and you're going to do very very light coats. So just go back, forth, and you're done. Let it dry, and then come back, keep going over and over and over again until you get the desired look. You don't want to cake it on too quickly, otherwise it could flake and it will look terrible. Believe me. As you can see, the first coat is done with. Now it takes about 5 to 10 minutes for each layer to dry. You can speed up the process by using a hairdryer though. So, just like before, make sure your paint is properly shaken up, clear the nozzle, and do a light layer. If I just wanted to keep this metallic blue, I'll just keep doing layer and layer and layer until it was done. However, I want to do a fade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do layers of blue continuously only right here, a little bit right here, and then none on the back. Once I get this to the desired blue, then I'm going to start doing black on top of that, and it'll give me a good fade of light blue to dark blue. I finally reached the blue that I wanted to on the front. Now I'm going to go ahead and peel off these two strips and then start doing layers of black. I'm also going to do an extra little effect where I'm going to get the X-Acto knife and I'm going to trim out a thin layer around the windows to give it black trimming. And that's what it looks like after I trimmed it. Now it's time to start doing layers of black, and it's really going to pull everything together. With the blue being slightly transparent, you can see that the black really darkened the blue out, which is exactly what I was going for. Now I need to drill the holes for the body using a 1/4 inch drill bit. Don't want to rush into it, just want to take it nice and slow. And I tend to use a drill bit that has this little spike on the end. That way you get the position perfect. Just like that. There's other ways to make the hole, but I prefer to use a drill bit. Now with all the holes drilled, I can go ahead and remove the masking for the windows as well as the rest of the masking tape. With the masking tape removed from the windows as well as the clear part, now it's time for, in my opinion, the best part. Removing this clear film that goes over the plastic. Just go ahead and pick at a corner and you can see it starts to come up. And this, I don't know if you can tell, but yes, it is much, much glossier underneath. This easily is my favorite part to do. And there we go. All that's left now is the decals. And there's the product of all that hard work. As you can see, the body fits on there perfectly. Before I end this video, there's a couple of things that I should tell you first. Now, if you're going to do any kind of masking on your body, make sure you run your finger along the edge of the masking. This will ensure that you have a complete seal and no paint will go underneath it. Something I should warn you about is these ridges. If you're painting a body that has a lot of different angles to it, make sure you use a spray can in different angles to get all of the paint in these areas. Because a lot of times when people finish painting bodies, they'll notice that they didn't paint it all the way and you're going to have clear spots, and believe me, that does not look good. Also, I should go ahead and mention that it doesn't really matter when you trim your body. You can do it at the beginning or at the end. And the last thing I want to talk about is a lot of RC professionals prefer that you paint your darkest to the lightest colors. Now the reason why I did the light color first is I wanted a darker blue, and that's what you got to be careful about. If you're not watching out for what you're doing, you're going to end up with completely different colors because a lot of these paints are transparent. If you want to keep a transparent paint the same, make sure you back it up with white or silver before doing the other layers. But that is all that I have to tell you guys. So feel free to rate, comment, question, subscribe if you like, but that is how you trim and paint a body. Oh, and one more thing I should probably mention. This kit did include a fin for me to put on right there. But I really didn't want to do that because this is going to be torn apart just from flipping the RC over. It's one of those things that I think looks better without it.